Hey everyone, it's Shelby, the Conservative Bookworm. This is number 7 in my series on the top 10 favorite books for 3 age ranges. I'm going to jump right in. The first book for ages 8 to 12 is one that I'm sure most of you have heard of, but it's a great book, real tearjerker. Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Paterson. I just cried like a baby when I read this book. It's so sweet. And even the movie is pretty good. It made me cry too. Great book. It addresses some serious topics like death, losing a loved one. But maybe it'd be a book to discuss that a little bit with your child. It's a really sweet book about friendship too, about being kind to each other, about using your imagination. But it does have, a death in it. So you may not want your child to read something so serious, but most kids, are surprisingly can handle things like that, and it can be a way of just helping them understand that death is a real thing that we all encounter at some point, and sometimes it's someone we really and truly care about. So, Bridge to Terabithia, awesome book. Next is my book suggestion for 13 to 15, and this is obviously could be like 10, 11, 12. But I'm saying 13 to 15 because the main character is around that old. And it is a main character is the girl. So this is more girl-centric. I don't have a suggestion for boys for this one. I just kind of, maybe I dropped the ball, but I couldn't really think of one. I mean, I have others for other things, but I'm a girl, so some of mine are going to be more girl-friendly books. This is one of them. I'm going to try to always have like a counterpart for a boy. But this is the Anne of Green Gables series by Montgomery. Awesome story. Just hilarious and fun. Just a fun story. Can be a tearjerker at times. The series is quite long. I only actually owned the first 2, but there's so many that I didn't. Sometimes if the series is really long, I don't get all of them. But just really good story. Of course, I think most girls can relate to Anne. She's a bit dramatic. But if you have a young girl, I think she would probably enjoy these. It's not like, it's an older book. I mean, it's not fast-paced or super exciting necessarily, but it captures the reader, I think, just with these little, because you can relate to Anne. You can relate to her just growing pains and her little misadventures. So I'm gonna say Anne of Green Gables. I know this is more girl, but my next book is maybe hopefully make up for that. And if your 13-15 wants to try this book, 13 to 15-year-old, they definitely can. I'm saying 16 to 18 because it is a classic, and it is kind of a heavy-duty classic that you need. Sometimes you kind of have to plow through certain parts, but once you get going on it, it is a great story. The story is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. We hear about Alexandre Dumas mostly with The Three Musketeers. People have heard of this book. I think they're more familiar probably with the movie that came out a while ago, which was a great movie, highly entertaining. But the book, I'd seen the movie a million times. It was a family favorite. But the book, once I read the book, I was like, oh man, obviously they couldn't have made a movie out of the book because it's so big and so much going on, but they did out of the Lord of the Rings, so maybe. But there's just so many more stories and people and things going on and interconnectedness than even the movie kind of showed. So, I'm going to recommend this. It was one of my favorites. It's one that I haven't read more than once because it is kind of big. and you have to like spend a lot of time like working on it, but it's worth it, and it's a great story. It's a classic, so it's pretty clean. I mean, there's not a whole lot. I mean, like, there's the whole aspect of like seeking vengeance, but the main character, the Count, does come to understand. It's less violent than the movie, I'll say that. Like, I don't know if he really ends up killing anyone. Maybe like in defense of people, but not to get revenge. Like, he does kind of go on this ploy to try to get revenge on people, but it ends up differently than the movie. I'll just say that. There's lots of more twists and turns and surprising things in the book. So I'm going to say Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I do recommend this for 16 to 18-year-olds. If you're younger and you like classics, then you can go for it, you know? But if you think your kid isn't quite up to it, then I do suggest an older age range. They have to read classics anyway in high school, so just add this to the list. Hope that is helpful for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.